What's the most redneck thing your family has done? My grandpa lived on a ranch in Montana that's been in our family since the 1800s. Everything was peaceful until this big shot real estate developer from New York bought the land next to us and started building a luxury resort. The problem started when he diverted the creek that ran through both our properties to fill his man-made lake. That creek watered our cattle for generations. When Grandpa went over to talk about it, the developer's security guards wouldn't even let him through the gate. Instead, we got a letter from his lawyer saying the water rights belong to them now, and we should adapt to changing times. Grandpa, who'd been a rancher his whole life, just smiled and said, "Well, looks like someone needs to learn about country consequences." The next day, Grandpa drove his old pickup to the local feed store and bought every single bag of cow manure they had, 3 truckloads worth. He waited until the middle of the night when the wind was blowing directly toward the resort and spread it all along our side of the property line. The smell was so bad that resort guests started checking out early. But that was just phase 1 of Grandpa's plan. When the developer installed sprinklers that sprayed water onto our land to make it look greener for their guests, Grandpa built a 20-foot tall reflector wall out of old tin roofing. It bounced the sunlight directly into the resort's dining area, making it so hot and bright that nobody could sit out there. The developer sent more angry letters, but everything Grandpa did was perfectly legal. He was just maintaining his property. Things got serious when the developer started dumping their construction waste on our land at night. We caught it all on the trail cameras Grandpa set up. They were trespassing, but the local sheriff was getting paid off and wouldn't do anything about it. So Grandpa called his old buddies, 15 Vietnam veterans who'd served with him. They showed up with their RVs and camped along our property line, taking shifts watching the border with binoculars and CB radios. When the developer's workers came to dump more trash, they found themselves surrounded by elderly veterans with spotlights, taking pictures and recording license plate numbers. Within minutes, the workers took off. The final straw came during the resort's grand opening. They'd invited reporters and wealthy potential investors. Grandpa chose that day to move his entire cattle herd, 300 cows, to graze right along the fence. On cue, his buddy Terry flew over in his crop duster plane, which spooked the herd so bad they all started mooing and running straight toward the resort fence. The developer watched in horror from his champagne reception as hundreds of panicked cattle stampeded right past his wealthy guests, kicking up a dust cloud that covered everything. 2 days later, a black SUV pulled up to our house. The developer got out looking defeated. He handed Grandpa an envelope containing a fair offer to buy water rights properly, plus a check for damages to our property. Now my grandpa and the developer have a fishing competition every summer. Turns out the guy actually respects people who stand their ground. As Grandpa says, sometimes city folk just need to learn country lessons the hard way.